Hello, I'm Isaac Keith Martinez, and welcome to Isaac's Haunted Beard. Hey, you like movie trailers? I love movie trailers. Do you like the voices that the guys use when they announce the movie trailers? Have you ever noticed that the guy who talks during the movie trailers, the narrator, his voice changes depending on what kind of movie he's trying to pitch you on? If it's a horror film, and let's face it, you know I'm going to go there because this is Isaac's Haunted Beard where we celebrate horror films, he's going to use a spooky voice. But, I don't just watch horror films, I watch all kinds of films. I noticed that when they have comedies, they have like a funny voice. And I started thinking how much of how I feel when I watch the trailer is based on this man's voice. If his voice is really scary, can he somehow trick me into thinking that this movie is more scary than it actually is? Have you ever seen a trailer where you're like, wow, that looks really scary, and then you see it and it's not that scary, and you're like, wait a minute, it's scary, and then you somehow, I don't know what the circumstances would be, but let's say you see that trailer again, and then you have that same feeling all over again. You're like, oh my god, it does look scary, but I've seen that movie, and it's totally not scary. Eureka! The movie isn't scary. It's that guy's voice that is scary, and it's the same thing with the comedies. You ever seen a movie where a guy has such a fun, happy, whimsical voice, and you go, this is going to be a laugh riot, and you go see it, and you're like, it's just not that funny. Same thing, you watch the trailer again, and you're like, hey, but it looks so good. It's the guy. Granted, editing is involved too, but there's something special about a good voiceover. I'm convinced that a voiceover can be so well done that you can convince an audience anything you want based on the way you speak. I'm going to prove it to you. I've picked four movies. Two of them will be horror films, and two of them will be comedies. And I'm going to read the backs of the DVDs, because I didn't know what else to read to give an example of this speaking lesson. So I'm going to just read the descriptions of the films, but I'm going to use the opposite voices, just to kind of prove a point. And so for the horror movies, I'm going to do my comedy voice. And for the comedies, I'm going to do my horror movie voice. So let's start with the horror movie. I wanted to pick something iconic and famous and familiar. I chose Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes. Okay, so The Hills Have Eyes. I'm going to read to you how this very scary movie, it's up to you if you think this is, it didn't scare me. But I'm just saying, this scary movie, not so scary if you read it in a not so scary voice, okay? Let's see what happens. This is what it actually says on the back of the DVD. I'm going to use my funny voice. The Carters are an all-American family on their way to California when their car breaks down far from civilization in the remote southwestern desert. But they're not alone. Watching from the hills is a very different kind of clan. A family of marauding inbred cannibals with an unspeakable taste for human flesh and monstrous brutality. In the nightmare that follows, what depravities must this wholesome family endure to survive? And in a primal wasteland ruled by lust and rage, who will become the most shocking savages of all? Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes. movies. Doesn't it sound like hilarious now? Like you're like, that movie sounds really funny. Is Jim Carrey in it? No. Michael Berryman is in it. Alright, let's move on. Okay, I'm kind of breaking the rules here. I guess as I'm looking at the stack of DVDs that I chose, this next one's not actually a comedy, so I guess I already messed up. But let's just go with it. The show must go on. I'm actually picking. I guess this is an action movie, a fantasy movie. It's Superman 3. This is, if you've ever seen Superman 3. Well, okay, let's take a break. If you've ever seen the poster for Superman 3, I love the poster for Superman 3. This is not it. This is the DVD cover. I hate when they change the DVD cover and the poster. Remember the poster from Superman 3? It's the best thing about Superman 3, or one of the weirdest things about Superman 3, is that Richard Pryor is in it. And in the movie poster, Superman's like flying, like all majestic, and Richard Pryor is being held in his arms, and he's got that look in his face of panic. And if you know you're Richard Pryor, you can just, when you look at the picture, you can hear his voice. He's like, ah! You can just picture Richard Pryor. And people hate Superman 3. People can go jump in a lake. Superman 3 is awesome. I love how stupid Superman 3 is. That's why I like it, though. Hey, I even like The Quest for Peace, because it's even dumber. I mean, granted, 1 and 2, very wonderful. And then 3 and 4 is ridiculous, and that's why I love it. And I'm going to read to you... Oh, and that's the one where Superman, for a while, turns bad and then becomes drunk Superman. That's the only reason why people love that movie now, right? Because that whole, watch it. Have I sold you on Superman 3 yet? It's weird that I'm doing that. This is the wrong show for that. This be some other guy's show. Okay, I'm going to read Superman 3. In a spooky voice. Let's see how spooky this movie can sound. Yeah! Me. She sells seashells by the seashore. That's a practice that you can do to get your lips all loosey-goosey. Here we go. Meet Gus Gorman, a naive computer programming. I really messed up. Let me try it again. Get into the game! Meet Gus Gorman, a naive computer programming natural. For him, a keyboard is a weapon. And as a result, Superman faces the microelectronic menace of his life. Christopher Reeve reprises his signature role, deepening his character's human side as Clark Kent sees Lana Lang at a Smallville High class reunion. And when the Man of Steel becomes his own worst enemy after kryptonite exposure, Reeve pulls off both roles with dazzling skill. Relive Superman 3 in all its heart, heroism, and high-flying humor. Christopher Reeve and Richard Pryor in Superman 3. You know, I saw this in the theater when I was a kid. No joke. Alright, let's move on, shall we? I'm gonna do, once again, I set up rules and I just break them. It's like dominoes, right? You see a bunch of dominoes all set up, you just want to tip them all over. It's just not really a horror film. It's definitely a cult classic, and it's beloved. I didn't mean to sing that. It's beloved by horror movie fans, and I guess it's a science fiction movie, but it's by a film director who makes a lot of horror films. Gosh, if you ever meet someone who doesn't like this movie, just punch him in the face. This is called John Carpenter's They Live, and gosh, this is this is the Scream Factory edition. I know everybody on the Twitters loves the Scream Factory Blu-rays. I swear, God bless Scream Factory. They're being treated like the Criterion Collection of cult classics. And they're making movies that are like this famous, feel this famous with their... Oh, I'm picking on them, I'm celebrating them. Good job. Bravo. Look at this. Look at this cover. Roddy Piper's muscles ain't even that big. Anyway, I'm going to read this in a funny voice. I just want to point out, I love that scene when they fight. It's really long. And what are they fighting about? Here, put on these glasses. I don't want to put on the glasses. Put on the glasses. I don't want to put on the glasses. Just put on the glasses. I don't want to put on the glasses. Put on. You're doing wrestling holds. And like, it's all about put on the glasses. Just put on the glasses. I would just put them on just to shut them up. Yeah, here. You're satisfied. Ooh, these are some nice glasses. Okay. John Carpenter's They Live. As a comedy. Oh, they even call him Horror Master John Carpenter in the first sentence, like they're treating it like a horror film. Is it a horror film? I don't know. They influence our decisions without us knowing it. They numb our senses without us feeling it. They control our lives without us realizing it. They live. Horror Master John Carpenter directs this heart-pounding thriller, I guess it's a thriller, in which aliens are systematically gaining control of the Earth by masquerading as humans and lulling the public into submission. Humanity's last chance lies with a lone drifter who stumbles upon a harrowing discovery. A unique pair of sunglasses that reveals the terrifying and deadly truth. Rowdy Piper in John Carpenter's They Live. They really do. Look, I understand how much I'm overdoing it. You're like, I have never been to a movie theater in my life where the trailer comes on and the guy does it like that. Like, I get it. I get that it's like, I'm overdoing it. And that's kind of part of the point. Part of the point is, your brain has the ability to get so used to a sound that reminds them of a feeling that you get stuck in that feeling to the point where you're not really absorbing information anymore. Like, it's so stupid. It's such a silly voice. It's such a ridiculous delivery that you stop taking They Live seriously. And They Live should never, ever not be taken seriously. I have a friend, this is a true story, who once told me that he thinks They Live is so important that when you go to the hotels or the motels, you ever notice that when you open the drawer there's always a Bible in it? Yeah, he said that there should be two things in it. There should be the Bible and a copy of They Live, and you should make your own decision of which one you should pick. Got all deep on you, didn't I? Okay, last one. God, I did a lousy job of my whole setup with like comedies and horror. Okay, so it is funny. This is a sequel. It's Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo. Yes, I own this on DVD. Fun fact: only movie I can think of off the top of my head released in the same year that the original one was. Same year, 1994. They rushed that one out. Okay, I'm gonna read this one as a horror film. Here we go. Get ready for an exuberant Soul Train ride that bounces to the topsy-turvy beat of the street. Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo captures the fun and flair of the most popular dance craze of the 80s with electrifying moves and non-stop music. returning from the first film, Breakin', Kelly, Ozone, and Turbo combine talent and tenacity to save an urban community center from a greedy developer bent on building a shopping center in its place. The developer has City Hall's approval, but the kids have heart. And to raise money to keep the center alive, the crew pulls out all the stops, locks, and pops in a dance show that will either make or break their cause. Shabadoo, Boogaloo Shrimp, and Lucinda Dickey in Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo. There you have it. It's all in the voice. You take it or leave it. Use my advice. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, kids. Subscribe to isaacshauntedbeard.blogspot.com for all the blog pieces that I write about the movies. And follow Isaac's Haunted Beard on Twitter at Isaac'sHauntedB. Bye-bye.